The New England Patriots just escaped this total nightmare. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron. On the daily Patriots content, don't miss out. All you got to do, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and hit the like button. It's that easy. It's summer. What's there not to like? Don't miss out. Hit the like button. Come on. So today, what we're going to be talking about, something the Patriots tried to do last off season, last training camp, moving into the 2024 season, which we all know was a debacle. I like to think towards the end of the season, there was obviously some glass half full type situations that happened. Obviously, Drake May getting in, Christian Gonzalez getting second team All Pro, this and that. That's beside the point right now. Last offseason, one of the biggest things the Patriots were trying to do, they should have focused more on the offensive line. We all know that. But what they did was they said, we want to go get a number one wide receiver. And in that time, one of the big ticket wide receivers they were looking at was Mr. Brandon Aiyuk. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. We're going to go back to what's going on with Brandon Aiyuk in just a second, but I just want to jump into and paint a picture of what happened and how we avoided this whole disaster. So first and foremost, Brandon Aiyuk, he ends up getting an offer from the Patriots. Here it is right here. Gets an offer from the Patriots. Now, the San Francisco 49ers said, listen, we'll let you seek out a trade, all these different things. 49ers ends up giving him an extension, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the Patriots, of all the people that were interested in Brandon Aiyuk, came forward with the nicest monetary contract available. Heads and shoulders above everyone else, as reported. Now, it's guessed that it was between $80 and $90 million guaranteed, which the 49ers didn't even guarantee him. And it was most likely a 3-year deal or a 4-year deal, about $120,000. But regardless, Brandon Aiyuk said, no. He was questioning Drake May. He was questioning the franchise, all these different things. He says no. All right. Patriots were there. Elliott Wolf was there. It was all on the table. Hey, we want you. We want to make this happen. And it did not go through. That's a godsend, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to tell you why. Nightmare avoided. Now, we go back to Brandon Aiyuk, current day. He is on the PUP, so players unable to perform. The whole wide receiver situation in San Francisco is an absolute debacle. So Aiyuk most likely not even going to be back till week 6. When he came back last year when he finally started playing, he started to hit his stride. That's when he ended up getting what? Injured. It was rough. So even making it back week 6, how long is it going to take him to hit his stride with Brock Purdy in this offense? And then you have Jawan Jennings in this whole situation requesting a trade, wanting more money, all these different things. You have Ricky Pearsall, who I actually think has a lot of potential for the 49ers. But again, he's on the PUP as well. Deebo Samuel ends up going to the Commies. So a lot of different things happening right here. But the point being, the New England Patriots absolutely dodged a bullet, avoided a nightmare situation with Brandon Aiyuk, because right now I'm not saying, listen, you're like, Aaron, what if we're in a different universe, like it's possible he doesn't get injured. Let's say he's injured. Let's say we pay him the 80 to 90 million guaranteed that was suspected in the contract the Patriots offered. He takes that and he can't even play. So now we're sitting there kind of like just kind of like, what's going on? Again, you might be saying, well, what about Stefon Diggs? Stefon Diggs has guaranteed money. Yes, but I believe it's about $24 to $26 million guaranteed. So if he doesn't pan out after the year, boom, see you later. We had you for a year, but you're stuck with this guy for a while. Unless you can convince someone else to take that contract. Now, the 49ers, they ended up giving him a 4-year, $120 million contract, $76 million guaranteed. And now they're sitting here like, man, well, this guy isn't even going to be able to play, a third of the season. So what the heck are we going to do now? And then we have, other guys who are hurt. We have other guys getting upset. Shoot, I just got a call asking if I can play wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. So that is how bad, that is how deep they are trying to dig to figure this situation out. And again, if Christian McCaffrey comes back and he's going on all cylinders, this team has a ton of potential, but this isn't helping. This is not helping. Again, crisis averted. by the New England Patriots. This would have been incredibly frustrating to know the guy who should be your number one wide receiver is literally hurt, is literally doing nothing for you, is sitting on the sideline collecting a paycheck. Frustrating, incredibly frustrating. So again, nightmare avoided. What do you think? Here's my question. Did you want Brandon Aiyuk, yay or nay? I would have told you no. I felt like he was too much a issue, even with just the contract dispute with the 49ers. I feel like all the wide receivers, it's just been very frustrating for the 49ers. So comment below. Did you ever want Brandon Aiyuk, yay or nay? Be honest. Be honest. And let me hear from you. Now, that leads us into, again, Stefon Diggs. And this is just a reminder. Stefon Diggs isn't even on the players unable to perform list as of now. As of now, he is not on that list. So that is huge. That is huge for the Patriots. And so a lot of people have said, listen, and that doesn't mean he doesn't get injured or something doesn't happen to him. I'm not saying he's going to play all 17 games. I hope he does. But again, Stefon Diggs, out to prove a lot of people wrong. A lot of people wrong. So buckle up for that. Last but not least on this episode, what I want to show you, I actually thought this was really good from 98.5. They came out with a list, and this is something I plan on doing, but I just want to kind of skim it real quick. Basically, it's position battles, locks and non-locks. And I want to point out this on wide receivers, just because a lot of people have been blasting me for saying Mac Hollins is a lock. He's going to make the team. And there's other people that are like, there's no way he makes the team. Again, lock right here. A lot of 53-man roster projections have him as a lock. Again, yesterday I gave Kendrick Bourne some more love. So yeah, he could surprise me. Again, Kayshon Boutte, I think they'd be crazy to have him on the bubble. But on the bubble, this makes sense. Polk, Baker, and Chisholm. The other guys outside looking in, that all makes sense. So of Jalen Polk, Baker, Chisholm, that is going to be the battle right there that I feel like, really going to be watching. Unless they're like, hey, we want to go a different direction. Kendrick Bourne, maybe seek a trade. Who knows? But I think he has value added. And I think he has a lot of help for this wide receiver room, much like Morgan Moses is help to the offensive line room. Next up, tight ends. This isn't going to surprise you, but Henry and Hooper. But then on the bubble, I would tell you, if I had to put money on it, CJ Dupree is my guess who would make the team. I think he is the most traditional tight end that Josh McDaniels wants to see. They work on his hands. I think he can be a problem in the NFL. Then we look at the starting left guard position. Cole Strange, I think he's going to be the starter come week 1 against the Raiders. But then you look at the mix. City So, obviously he started before, and Caden Wallace, he's versatile. He can play guard, he can play tackle. But I think Caden Wallace is a guy we shouldn't sleep on. And I saw someone comment about this the other day that, hey, he has potential. He's a young guy. He was kind of thrown in there. He had some injuries. But Caden Wallace, do not sleep on him. I think he still has a lot of potential, especially more than like a Layden Robinson, obviously. And then we can continue down the list. Tackles, I mean, we should know that. That shouldn't be a surprise. We look at linebackers. Again, I don't think anyone should be surprised. And then we look at corners. Alex Austin's a guy that we've talked about that has a lot of talent. Isaiah Bolden as well. And then Marcellus Dial out of South Carolina. And the other guys, Mr. Irrelevant, I never thought he would be making the team. And then you look at safeties. Craig Woodson for sure has to be up there. That's a no doubt. Jabril Peppers, it was cool seeing him in the episode. And kind of a more positive light on him in Forged in Foxborough, episode 2. And Borgalis, I think that's common sense for anyone. And so, again, I think the biggest battles you're going to see, though, wide receiver, left guard, and then depth pieces. Who's going to be depth pieces for this franchise going into week 1? So, again, comment below. What do you think? Brandon Aiyuk, that whole situation. Bullet dodged, or you wish we would have got him, which I'd be surprised if you did, but comment below, tell me what you think. And yeah, you guys rock. Enjoy your day. We'll talk later. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. I got to go practice with the 49ers because, like I said, they just called me up. So it's been a while. It's been a while. My knees are a little achy, but I'll be good. So we'll talk later. Peace.